Hello students, I hope you all are doing well and I hope my videos are helping you all to understand the chapter. Now, if you look at the picture here, can you please judge what is it? It is books and burials. Burials is nothing but the action of burying a dead body. So, can you ever think of a library and a burial place together? No, we cannot. Because they are very different places which are used for different purposes. And now you think मैम ने books को और burials को दोनों को mix क्यों कर दिया? I'll tell you all. One place is such, that is books, where we go to learn, and the other is where we go to say goodbye to our loved ones. Yes? One place makes us happy, that is the books, and the other makes us very sad. So, but these both have one thing in common. जी हाँ, both of them teach us many things about our country, about our culture, और हमारे ancestors के बारे में भी बहुत कुछ बताते हैं. यानी कि हमारे पूर्वज, हमारे सभ्यता के बारे में बहुत कुछ बताता है, पास्ट के बारे में बहुत कुछ बताता है, ये दोनों चीज़. So let us find out what we can learn from books and burial places. And I think so, we all have gone to the library and have seen a lot of books in the library. There are different types of books. Horror की books होती है, drama की book होती है, action, adventure, everything. So today we are going to study about one of the oldest book in this chapter, that is Vedas. We will even study about the arrivals of the Aryans. And the topic here is what books and burials tells us. So let us start the chapter. So in our previous chapter, we have studied about the great Harappan civilization, which began to an end around 3,900 years ago. And some scholars think that it is the arrival of the Aryans who came in India about 3,500 years ago, which ultimately they brought to an end to the Harappan civilization. Maybe, in fact, their invasion seems to be very responsible for the collapse of this civilization. These Aryans has composed the Vedas, and since these Vedas, they contain a lot of information about the life of the people of this period. Which period we will talk about Vedic period. So that age is known as Vedic period. But who were Aryans? Most historians believe that the Aryans were a semi-nomadic, pastoral but cultured race of people. They lived in Central Asia, and one group, they were later known as Indo-Aryan. They broke away from the main stock of the Indian Europeans in Central Asia, and they moved to eastwards and reached to the Indian subcontinent. तो Indo-European से वो break होके Indo-Aryans break होके मतलब Central Asia से move होके eastwards आए और यहाँ पे Indian subcontinent में settle होने लगे. This was supported by the fact that words and the terms are very common to the European languages. Like I said, Indo-Aryan language. Indo-Aryan language का थे संस्कृत. Say for example, मातृ इन संस्कृत को हिंदी में क्या बोलेंगे? मातृ को हम लोग संस्कृत में, माँ को हम लोग हिंदी में कहते हैं और मदर इंग्लिश में कहते हैं. यस, जैसे भातृ को इन संस्कृत में भाई कहते हैं, ब्रदर इन इंग्लिश में कहेंगे, और जर्मन में ब्रूडर कहते हैं. सो इसी तरह से दैट इज वाई संस्कृत इज कंसिडर्ड टू अ पार्ट ऑफ इंडो यूरोपियन फैमिली ऑफ लैंग्वेजेस. ओके, and this family, which includes Indian languages, Indo-European family includes Indian languages like the Sanskrit, Hindi, Assamese, Gujarati, Kashmiri, Sindhi. ये हमारे इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस है. संस्कृत, हिंदी, एसमीज, गुजराती, कश्मीरी, सिंधी. ओके, और यूरोपियन लैंग्वेजेस में आते हैं इंग्लिश, फ्रेंच, जर्मनी, ग्रीक, इटालियन एंड स्पेनिश. तो इंडो यूरोप, दैट इज वाई संस्कृत इज कंसिडर्ड टू अ पार्ट ऑफ Indo-European languages. The languages like Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, ये सारे Dravidian family of languages से आते हैं. Dravidian, okay? और languages which is used in the northeast India, they began to Tibeto-Burman family. So हर एक की family अलग अलग होती है. Family of languages, Indo-European अलग, Dravidian family की अलग. And the languages which is spoken in Jharkhand and some parts of the central India, they began to Austro-Asiatic family languages. Okay, so probably maybe the population of the Indo-European increased. They were forced to move out to the original places in search of some new shelters or new pastures or something, or maybe it is likely that these Aryans fled to their homeland. सो दोज हु माइग्रेटेड, यानी कि एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जो ट्रैवल करके सेटल हो रहा है, वो दोज हु माइग्रेटेड टू इंडिया, दे वे केम टू बी नोन एज इंडो आर्यंस. गॉट इट? सो द आर्यंस व्हेन दे एंटर्ड इंडिया इन स्टेजेस फॉर्म. द आर्यंस फर्स्ट सेटल्ड अराउंड द रिवर इंडस and the river Saraswati, and that has been now dried up. But this stage of history, the period between 1500 BC and 600 BC, this period is known as early Vedic period. Maybe you have studied in your early chapters Vedic period. दो होते हैं, later Vedic period और early Vedic period. So since source of information of this periods come from the Rig Veda, this period is known as Rig Vedic period. Which Vedic period? Early Vedic period is known as Rig Vedic period. Got it, children? So gradually these Aryans moved ahead and they settled in the Ganga Valley. They renamed the entire region under their control, and that region came to be known as Aryavarta. Aryavarta means the land of Aryans. The period of such development, that is, which period are we talking about? The period between 1000 BC and 600 BC was known as later Vedic period. And the main sources of this information during this period, they were known as the Yajurveda, the Samaveda and the Atharva Veda. I repeat, in early Vedic period, we'll talk about that is the Rig Vedic period, and the later Vedic period comes under the Yajurveda, the Samaveda and the Atharva Veda. So now let us come to study the detail about these Rig Vedic period. That is, first we'll know what is Vedas. Before we move on and study about Vedas, let us see the social life of this early Vedic period. First, let us see about the family. It was a joint family, and this was headed by a senior most male member of the family. The senior most male member of the family was known as Kulapa. Kulapa made all the decisions which were accepted by other members of the family. And now if you come to the women had great respect in this period, that is in the society. And during this period, some learned women like Apala, Ghosha and Visvavara, even they composed hymns for the Rig Veda. No religious ceremony could be performed unless the wife was present. So the women could choose their husbands in a ceremony which was called as Swayamvar. So you can see the early Vedic period, the women were very respected. The family was well behaved. They were respected to the senior most male member, and the social life of this early Vedic period was very good. So I was talking about Vedas. Vedas literally means knowledge, and it's a treasure house of knowledge, in other words, if we say, and it's a collective wisdom of the Aryans, क्योंकि they are 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda. And among all these 4, the Rig Veda is one of the oldest books in the world, which was composed about 3500 years ago. So let us see about the details about all these Vedas. So Rig Veda was composed about 3500 years ago, in Old or Vedic Sanskrit, and it is a collection of prayers in honor of Hindu gods and goddesses. Among them, three gods were especially important. Indra, the god of war, second, war and rain, okay? Agni, the god of fire, and Soma, a plant from which a special drink was prepared. Three gods were very important: Indra, Agni, and Soma. The Rig Veda was divided into 10 mandalas, या हम लोग वॉल्यूम्स भी कह सकते हैं. Volumes, divisions, 10 divisions में it was divided, and it contains 1028 hymns. Hymns, जिसको हम लोग भजन कहते हैं, which is a song of praise especially to the god or any saint, or even it can be related to a nation. So this Rig Veda, when it is divided in 10 mandalas or volumes and contains 1028 hymns that are also called Sukta. Sukta का मतलब होता है well said. So these hymns, HYMNS, these hymns were composed by sages or rishis, and most of the sages or rishis were men. So, but a few hymns were composed by women also. So some of the hymns in the Rig Veda, they were in the form of dialogues. If you look in your NCERT books, there is a dialogue between the Vishwamitra and the river. So one of the famous dialogue is between Vishwamitra and two rivers, that is the Beas and the Satluj. River के नाम है. So especially the river like the Indus and its tributaries, and Saraswati, which is dried up. The Saraswati, the Ganga and the Yamuna, they are named in the hymns. That is why historians assume that this hymn was composed in that area where these rivers flow, the Ganga, the Yamuna and the Saraswati. And they are also point out that the sage lived in a society where horses and cows were important animals, because they compared the rivers with these animals. So chariots is nothing but a vehicle which is pulled out by the horses, and the carts would have been used in the society at those time, that the Vedic period. The Rig Veda highlights about the social, economic, political and religious conditions of that period. As I have already told, the other three Vedas, the Sama Veda, the Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda. So Sama Veda is a collection of songs, mostly taken from the Rig Veda. And Yajur Veda is a collection of sacrificial formulas. Whereas the Atharva Veda is a collection of songs or the spells and the magical charms of the evil spirits. Okay, so the Vedas were passed on orally from one generation to another generation, and the priests taught students to recite and memorize each sentence bit by bit with great care. So this process continued for several centuries before they were finally written down. Further, they were printed less than 200 years ago. So if you look, the books we read today, they are very different from the Rig Veda in many ways. Say, the books we use today are written and printed, but the Vedas was not written down. For several centuries, it was first composed. Now, the present books are printed, while the Rig Veda could not be printed till 200 years ago from today. And the present book which is being read, while the Rig Veda was only recited and they were heard. The Rig Veda took several centuries to be composed, but it is not true in the case of the present books. So we have seen how these books we read today are very different from the Rig Veda. So the Vedas became the basis of Hinduism, which is one of the oldest surviving religions in the world. But apart from the Vedas, we even have some more books here, and those are, so apart from the Vedas, we have the Puranas, the Upanishads, the Brahmanas, and the epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata. Why we consider this Ramayana and Mahabharata as epic? Epic is nothing but a very long and excited, जिस स्टोरी में बहुत उत्तेजना होती है, those are known as epics. So they are some great creations. These are all the great creations of the Aryans, and all these books what the Puranas, the Upanishads, the Brahmanas, these all books are collectively known as Vedic literature, and they tell us not only about the religious beliefs of the people, but even they tell about the social, the economic, and the political life of the people at that time. Which time are we talking about? We are talking about the early Vedic period. So as I have already spoke about the social life, that means the people of this early Vedic period, the Rig Veda also mentions some special words to describe the people. So here if you look in the picture, we have the priest, that is the Brahmin, the Raja, which comes under the Kshatriyas, the Jana or Vish, that means the Vaishyas, and the Aryas and the Dasas or Dasyus is known as the fourth system. So we come to this is known as the Varna system. Varna system has four parts: the priest or Brahmins, the Rajas, or known as Kshatriyas, then we have Jana or Vish, या इसको हम लोग वैश्या भी कहते हैं, and then we have the Aryas, that means Shudras, जिसको हम लोग Shudras कहते हैं, the Dasas or the Dasyus. So if you first come to the priest, they perform various rituals, यानी कि पूजा पाठ ये सब चीज़ों में these people, the priest performed. They looked after some religious or the spiritual matters, and they even recited some prayers. The Rajas, that is, they come under the second Varna system, that is Kshatriyas. They were the leaders of the warriors, and they were often brave and skillful warriors. And the kings and the warriors were known as the Kshatriyas. They protected the general people from Shati. Shati is nothing but the harm. Then the third Varna system is the Vaishyas. Vaishyas को word दिया गया है Jana या Vish. The Jana or Vish means to describe the people or the community as a whole. So in fact, actually the group of villages inhabited by the people of a particular tribe was called the Jana or Vish. The Vaishyas come from the word Vish. So they were mainly the cultivators, the craftsmen, or they are mentioned in the Rig Veda by name. This name in Rig Veda, their names are the Purujana or the Bharatajana or the Yadujana. Some different names are mentioned in Rig Veda. Then we have the fourth Varna system, that is the Shudras. We can say this as the Aryas and Dasas and Dasyus. The Rig Veda mentioned these words because the people who compose the hymns describe themselves as Aryas, as I have already told. Hymns किसने compose किया था? Aryas ने. And they called their opponents, यानी कि उनके जो opponents थे, they were known as the Dasas or the Dasyus. Dasas, they are said to be the original, actually they are said to be the original dark skinned inhabitants of India, जिनके भी स्किन डार्क हुआ करते थे, होते हैं. अभी हम लोग इन सब वर्ना सिस्टम्स को नहीं फॉलो करते हैं. तो एट दैट टाइम whose skin was very dark, they were considered as the Dasas, and they did not, these people, the Shudras, whoever came under this, they did not perform any sacrifices. कोई बलि नहीं चढ़ा सकते, कोई वर्शिप नहीं कर सकते थे. दे स्पोक डिफरेंट लैंग्वेजेस. द फर्स्ट डिविजन इन सोसाइटी वॉज बिटवीन द फेयर स्किन्ड आर्यास एंड द डार्क स्किन्ड dasas, and that is, this division was based on the skin color, or you can say the skin color or varna. So later the word dasa came to be known to anyone who was a slave. Slaves might be the men, the women, उनके बच्चे, who were often captured in the war actually. And these people, the Shudras, or you can call the Dasas or the Dasyus, they were treated as a property of the owners, and the owners could make them do whatever work they wanted. And the word Arya came to be referred to anyone who was noble and respected. So again the term Shudras came into existence, that included the Dasas and those Aryans who disobeyed social rules. So thus the division of the society was based on the people's occupation. क्या काम करने के आधार पे society was being divided. They started during the Rig Vedic period, but this division was not very sharp. So Rig Veda was being composed in the northwest part of the Indian subcontinent, but there are some other parts of the subcontinent were also being witnessed, for many other developments. Like this picture, you can see this is the picture of megalith. Megalith is nothing but mega का मतलब होता है big and lithic means stone. So megalith refers to big stone, or you can even say as stone boulder. So they were used to mark the burial sites. यानी कि इस साइट्स को जिस तरह से आपको पत्थर की बनावट दिखाई दे रही है, इस साइट को हम लोग बरियल साइट कहते हैं. इससे हम लोग को पता चलना चाहिए कि यहाँ पे दफनाया गया है. So which is in the northeast, children's northeast Kashmir and also throughout the Deccan area and some South India also. So the practice of erecting this megaliths began around about 3000 years ago, and the archaeologists have found some megaliths on the surface, while some megaliths burials were also found underground also. So they have also found a circle of stone boulder, like a single large stone which was standing on the ground. So these some acts as an indicator that there is a burial under the ground also. If there were some of the common features of the burials, like let us discuss this. Burials, these were the megaliths to mark the burials, okay, and the dead were buried with some distinguished pots. डेड को जब दफनाया जाता था इंसान को, तो उसके साथ कुछ पॉट्स यानी कि घड़े को भी दफनाया जाता था. सो दीज पॉट्स, डिस्टिंक्टिव पॉट्स, वे नोन एज द ब्लैक एंड रेड वेयर. सम टूल्स एंड वेपन्स ऑफ आयरन वेर ऑल्सो फाउंड इन द बरियल्स. यानी कि इससे भी पता चलता है कि दफनाने वाले व्यक्ति के साथ सम टूल्स एंड वेपन्स वर ऑल्सो केप्ट. There were some skeletons of horses and horse equipments. Skeletons of horses और horse equipments के से भी पता चलता है कि डेड बॉडी के साथ हॉर्स को भी दफनाया जा सकता होगा. हो सकता है कि वो राजा का हो या उसके बहुत प्रिय था, इसलिए हॉर्स को भी दफनाया गया हो. So, and there were some ornaments of stone and gold was also found. उनके डेड बॉडी के साथ some stones and gold was also found in the this burial sites. Like for example, in Brahmagiri, one skeleton was buried with 33 gold beads, 2 stone beads, 4 copper bangles, and 1 conch shell. And while other skeletons have only a few pots, like these तो इससे इस burial site से हम लोगों को ये अंदाज यानी कि आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट को ये समझ में आता है कि जो क्लियरली इंडिकेट्स लाइक सम पीपल माइट हैव रिच while others were poor. So some may have leaders or chiefs, whereas some were other as followers, जिनके burials में pots वगैरह कुछ ज़्यादा महंगी चीज़ें नहीं मिली. तो इससे मतलब ये है कि that burial site was of the poor family, and with many things like gold beads, copper, these all things. So this shows the social difference between the burials. There were some family burial spots also. Like the archaeologists have also found the megalith under which there were many skeletons. एक skeleton के छुट के नहीं, बहुत सारे skeletons थे. इसका मतलब ये होता है कि the members of the same family were buried in the same place, but in different times, children. Please remember this, but in different times. यानी कि जब एक को whenever the first person have been passed away, तो उसको दफनाने के बाद second person, whenever that person has passed away, that same burial site was being used. So the bodies of those family members who died later were brought into the burials through a portholes. तो उनको कैसे किया जाता, उनको सेकेंड वाले बॉडी या थर्ड वाले बॉडी को कैसे पास किया जाता था? होल के द्वारा. दैट इज नोन एज पोर्ट होल्स, PORT holes. That is, portholes were used as an entrance for bringing the body into the burial who died later. Got it? So people who found out family burial sites whenever required through stone circles, or they were boulders, and that were placed on the surface of the burials. So you have understood, children, what is a family burial sites? The members of the same family were buried in the same place but in different times, and those bodies, potholes, PORT, potholes, were used as an entrance for bringing those bodies into the burials who died later. Now we will see some more examples of this. If you recall, children, in our previous chapters we have spoken about some Neolithic sites, Paleolithic sites, and megalithic sites and all. So Inam Gaon, if you remember, it's one of the early village. We can find this Inam Gaon. It is situated at the river Gond, which is at a tributary of Bhima, and this was a place which was occupied between 3600 to 2700 years ago. Here adults were generally buried in the ground. They were laid out in the straight with their head towards the north. Sometimes the burials were made within the houses. There were some vessels which was probably filled with some food and water. They were left with the dead. So archaeologists found one man which was buried in a large 4-legged clay jar. He was buried in a large 4-legged clay jar, and it was buried in the courtyard of a 5-roomed house. It was one of the largest houses at that site in the center of the settlement. A granary was also there in the house, and the body was placed in the cross-legged position. जैसे यानी कि पैर के ऊपर पैर चढ़ा के हम लोग जैसे लेटते हैं, उस बॉडी को उस पोजीशन में रखा गया था. So you can see we have seen how many types of burial sites we have seen. Some were laid with many, the rich were laid with many ornaments, gold and all. The poor with some pots. Some burial sites we have even found some animals like horses skeleton we have found. So this marks the differences between the social things. So even we can let us see about the occupations at Inam Gaon. The seeds of wheat, barley, rice, pulses, millets, peas, sesame, and til, they have been found by the archaeologists at Inam Gaon. There were some bones of several animals which has been found, and many of the bones are found bearing cut marks. It indicates, ये cut marks क्यों है? It indicates that these may have been used as food, and these include animals जैसे कि buffalo, sheep, goat, dog, pig, horse, एंटीलोप, ब्लैक पग, स्पॉटेड डियर, मंगूस वगैरह वगैरह वगैरह. ये सब एनिमल्स वहाँ उस समय आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट को मिले थे. एंड दिस एविडेंस प्रूव्स दैट द फ्रूट्स लाइक जामुन, आमला, बेर, डेट्स, दे वर वैरायटी ऑफ बेरीज where they were collected. So by this we can see the occupation at, how was the occupation at Inam Gaon. Now let us see one case study of China. Archaeologists have also found first evidence of writing in China around 3500 years ago, and these writings were on animal bones. If you this picture is also of the tortoise shell जिस पे लिखा गया है. These all, they were called, the writings which were written on the animal bones were called as oracle bones, because they were used to predict the future. उससे फ्यूचर पता चलता था. किंग्स दे गॉट स्क्राइब्स टू राइट क्वेश्चंस ऑन द बोन्स. किंग्स को ज़्यादा ही ये रहता था कि मतलब उनको वो राइटिंग्स बोन्स पे लिखवाते थे, स्क्रिप्ट्स, और ताकि उनको उससे फ्यूचर, देयर वाज अ सुपरस्टिशियस बिलीव जिससे उसका फ्यूचर पता चलता था. तो किंग्स ऐसे काम करवाते थे, और ये सवाल पूछने के लिए या ये फ्यूचर देखने के लिए कि वो आगे की बैटल्स जीत पाएंगे या नहीं, या इस साल हार्वेस्ट अच्छा होगा या नहीं, या उनके सन्स बेटे होंगे या नहीं. सो दीज पोन्स देन दे वे आफ्टर राइटिंग दे वे पुट इनटू द फायर एंड दे क्रैक्ड बिकॉज ऑफ द हीट. देन फॉर्च्यून टेलर्स, जो ज्योतिषवाणी बताते थे, दे स्टडीड दीज क्रैक्स एंड देन दे ट्राई टू प्रेडिक्ट द फ्यूचर. as you may expect, they sometimes made mistakes also, obviously, because cracks की वजह से कि वो future depict करना, that was very difficult, and I don't think so this superstitious belief we have to follow. But Chinese people now also do this children's writings on the script. So the kings, they lived in the palaces and cities, and they amazed with the vast quantities of the wealth, and they were included large, elaborated, decorated bronze vessels, but they did not know the use of iron. Chinese people that time they did not know the use of iron. By this, childrens, we have done this chapter. Now, childrens, I have some surprise for you in my next video. So for this video you have some notes, so please click on the link in the description box and wait for my next video for your surprise. Take care. Bye bye.